See APRI real quickly because APRI could really move on up. Guys, possible plan APRI at the $2 break. Possible play APRI starting to test those levels. Starting to test APRI levels at $2. Almost there, and we might get a possible play coming up if volume moves on through. If volume moves on through on APRI, we could get, a very nice rip. So let's keep that in mind for a possible play. And if it does break $2, this is a play I definitely will be hopping in on. And there it is, $2 break APRI. Let's definitely look for some activity come through now. So APRI, this is a stock that I think has the best potential. This is a stock that I think, definitely can go on the biggest rip. I think it was the safest play as well. On APRI. And this is why, guys, bounce off the 50-day moving average. We also had the bounce off the 13 EMA as well. And right now we have a high of the day of 219. Again, make sure you guys are locking in at least something, every 20 cents, because that is exactly what we want to see. Lock in something, maybe every 20 cents, but it doesn't have to be everything. And, it does not have to be everything. But so far, APRI, this is exactly what we want to see. Great press release came out this morning talking about, success in erectile dysfunctions in Mexico. That's a great thing to see, obviously. So, that I'm sure that makes people happy. But right now, APRI, we are looking for that break of the high of the day. Again, if you got in at 201, right here, we are coming up to the high of the day, 225 about to hit. Lock in something, as I said, so 225 about to hit. But this was the press release we went after. This was the stock that we wanted to look at. Now, again, why was that? We were coming off the 13 EMA. We were coming off the 50-day moving average. We have a high of the day of 225. Again, our buy alert was 201 right to 225. So I'm locking in half right here, guys. I'm locking in half right here at 225. I'm letting the other half run. Locking in half right here at 225, letting the other half run. APRI, this is exactly what we wanted to see right now. And I'm letting the other half run. 3,000 shares in at 203. Locking in 1,500. I'm out. I got 1,500 left to run on APRI right now, guys. I have 1,500 left on APRI. Look to sell maybe up towards around. Next resistance, let's check this out. That's 225 right there. Next resistance really isn't all the way up towards around maybe 260. And right now, guys, again, we're seeing if we can get that 230 break. See if we get that 230 break. We do have 210 bottom support. 210 bottom support. We're looking to see if we could get a nice rip. 210 bottom support. Again, I'm sitting in at 203 right now, locked in half already, and now I'm looking for a break of the high of the day of 234. And right now we do have some consolidation. Guys, beautiful play so far. Beautiful play, beautiful rip. This is exactly what I wanted to see. This is exactly the rip I wanted, and this is why we had this on our buy alert. This is why we voted on this stock. And here comes the new high of the day. About to cash in a little bit more, coming on up, and there it is. We love successful erectile dysfunction medication, guys. That is what we like. And this is a beautiful play coming off right now with a very nice rip. And again, that all came from that press release, guys. It all came from that press release. And that is, bringing in some nice hot activity. Right now, we are still moving on up, still sitting on that 1,500 shares that I have left. We have upper shadows, guys. 3 long upper shadows. That is a bad sign. 3 long upper shadows. If we do not break the high of the day, and probably the next minute and a half, I am going to be cashing out because 3 long upper shadows, we already know that could mean a turnaround. We already know that could mean a turnaround if we do not break the high of the day. I'm going to be putting my stop loss, probably moving this up right here at around probably 219, bottom 219. But here is a little bit of new high of the day, 1,500 shares, stop loss at 219 in case that stock does come back on down. And we are at high of the day is 235 right now. We are looking for that break. Again, I sold at 226, 1,500, and then I still have that last 1,500. Which I'm still looking for that high of the day break. We have a little bit. I'm going to lock in probably, unless we break right here. Are we going to break right here? because 235 still holding. 235 still holding. I'm going to lock in probably another 500 right here, guys, at 235. There's a break right here, so I actually didn't even get that in. There's a break right here, so I still have my 1500, guys, and I'm going to be selling at 245. Going to be selling at 245, about 1,000, and I'm going to have the last 500 go out. We have a high of the day, 241. And let me, be smart right here. Let me be smart right here. Going to take out 1,000 right here at 230. Take out 1,000 right here at 230, guys. And there it goes at 226. And now if it goes back below 220, I'm going to be 100% out. If it goes back below 220, I'm going to be 100% out, guys. If it goes back below 220, I'm 100% out. Just giving you guys that heads up right now. And there it is, guys. And hit. So my stop loss just got hit, guys, and I am 100% out. Beautiful play. That is exactly what I wanted to see. Kicking off this day, guys. Ow! And APRI, guys, still getting that little bit of a bounce. Still trying to hold this bounce play right here on APRI. So again, if you are a bottom type of player, APRI definitely is, the stock you want to look at right now, because this stock does have potential, guys. And again, as I've been saying, it might be that potential to look for that bottom dip buy for a run up back up towards around the high of the day, as it is. But APRI, again, this is where the stock definitely could have some nice potential. It is above 210. That's the most important thing for this stock, to stay above 210. That is definitely the most important thing for the stock, for this play, to stay above 210. And again, if you are, looking for a possible bounce play, that 210 could be an area that you would want to look at if you are a bounce player, because again, it has a lot of room to move on up. But if it does fall back to like below 205, you have to 100% be out. And I could imagine the stock, bouncing and then doing a nice easy climb for maybe a, like 11 o'clock rip. That could be very big. And again, I just want to see if there's anything that's possibly moving. And I do think, activity is going to stay in APRI for the pure fact that nothing else is ripping. Nothing else is ripping. And traders get greedy, guys. Traders want money. Traders want to, make thousands of dollars every single day. Traders want to make thousands of dollars every single day. They want to push a stock on up. They want to push a stock on up. So if, APRI has the best potential to rip, traders will definitely lean towards this and, try to get this stock moving. Bottom support is that 205 mark. And we do want to see if the stock is going to, slowly move on up. If it holds above 210, that is definitely the most important thing, holding above 210 right there. So you can see it is trying to come back on up. So and I could imagine the stock, traders get greedy. They want to push a stock up. They want to make money. So we can look for a possible play right here on this stock again. So if you want to look for a smaller position again, again, we are going to be coming back up towards around that 225 mark. And that is where things are definitely going to heat up a little bit. So if you want to hop in again right here, we are looking for that next, possible breakout on APRI. Again, it is a little bit more risky because this is on a bounce play. So again, best area, right now, again, best area, because I know all you guys are probably typing it in, go as low as you can, go as low as you can on these plays. So, best possible area would be probably like 215 right now if you can get that. Stop loss would be right underneath, that 205 mark. So probably like 203. Exit, we can look up towards around the high of the day, around 241 on APRI. So again, APRI, it would be for a bounce play, guys. If you are a bounce play and you guys, haven't traded yet, again, guys, this is, bounce play. Break of 225, though, activity is going to come on up. And you can see we are getting activity coming back on up now. And this is what I'm talking about. Traders love to get greedy, guys. U-shaped breakout pattern starting to come on up. U-shaped breakout pattern. This is why I wanted to watch APRI. This is why I wanted to watch APRI right here, because this stock is starting to move again. And starting to bring in some nice activity. 230 is obviously 230 is going to be an area of resistance. But we are starting to break again. We are starting to break again. Here comes the high of the day. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, guys. Small position for bounce play. Here comes 250 right now. APRI, we are playing the stock beautiful. And traders get greedy, guys. There's nothing else ripping on the board right now. Nothing else is ripping on the board right now. So you know what? Everyone's saying, let's push APRI on up. I see that. I know that. I've been in the market for about 4 years now. I know what other traders are going to do. I love psychological play right here, guys. And APRI, beautiful play right there. And let's see if we could break 450. Let's see if we could break 450 coming on up. Let's see if, or 250, excuse me. 250 break. The stock has room to run towards around 265. And this is where the stock is going to the stock has room to run towards around 265, and this is where the stock is going to start moving. So again, break of 250, we can look around 265. And guys, again, 250 is obviously a resistance line. 250 is a resistance line, so it is touching right now. We do have that high of 257. High of 257, 250 resistance line right now. And that has been huge so far. Huge so far, guys. This is absolutely killing it. And again, as you guys know, 250 is a resistance line. The stock is, if you guys are in, let's say, at 250, we could just be seeing a little bit of consolidation right here. We could just be seeing a little consolidation before it's a nice big rip and next pop up. So again, we have a little consolidation, but that's the bounce I was talking about. That's the bounce I was talking about for its next leg on up, guys. So we need to break 250. If it does not break 250 again, it will be coming back on down, but it is looking good. It is looking strong for that 250 break again. Let's see a 251, get some positive play in here. There's 250 break, and there's 260, new high of the day. Again, guys, be smart up in these levels. Definitely be smart up in these levels. But guys, enjoy it. Be smart up in these levels, but enjoy it as well. We do have that, chart resistance. Guys, chart resistance from October 26th, October 25th is right at that 265-ish mark. Again, we have high of the day 260. It's right around that 260 mark, 262. So that is a very tough area. Make sure you guys understand that. It's a very tough area. Why, again, I can do this every single day, guys. Yesterday, we didn't play too much. Yesterday, we didn't have many alerts. Why? The markets were red. Things weren't looking too good. Today, what happened? We waited for a nice green day in the futures. We waited for a great press release. We waited for the nice big volume to come in. We waited for a nice low float stock that was above the TEMA, above the 50-day moving average, and had that open, clear sky to run. So all the indicators were there, and that's why I lean towards APRI at the start of the day. Now, again, we are hitting this 260 chart resistance from October 26th and October 25th. But so far, again, guys, that is holding on up. You could see, the different levels of support right here. Strong 240 support with a very nice 230 support as well, and then our bottom kind of 210, our bottom 210, which is kind of our main area. But I do think probably this 240 support will hold on up if it does, come back on down. But again, it probably will have to consolidate again, just like it consolidated on this first rip. When it came back on down, it's going to rip, and now it's going to consolidate again before it's possible next leg on up. APRI has a huge amount of potential to even go, even more parabolic, honestly, because this stock can honestly run up towards $3 and then probably 320. Probably 320 will be the next area. But the main exit all the way up towards around 320 now. I'm going to put that probably on alert. Stop loss. Stop loss. We have support at 260 from the previous day. 260. So we have to kind of go right below that, 258. So again, if you want to look for a smaller position, guys, I would look all the way up towards probably around that 320 mark on APRI, as we definitely have a lot of good time potential. But again, the higher we go up, guys, the higher we go up, the more the more selling that could possibly come from it. But probably the next area would be up towards around 320 sell target. Guys, look at this. APRI starting to move on up. Sell something at 305. Right at this mark. That's still moving on up. But again, I think probably 320 will be around the high. But again, be smart, guys. Don't get too greedy. We're up 92% on the day, absolutely killing it. So again, we just came up to a high of the day on APRI of 307. Look to lock in at least something along that $3. Obviously, that's going to be a resistance line, and most likely we'll have a pullback from there. But the main sell target, again, the main sell target is all the way up towards around 320. But use your head, guys. We're up 94%. An absolute great move so far in APRI, and we have just been absolutely killing it. So, shout out to all you guys that, have just been on fire and destroying it, guys. APRI. Let's get back to that action right now. As here we go, probably starting to move on up, and let's see if that stock's going to break the high of the day of 307. Now, if that stock can break 307, that is where that stock can really start moving on up again, up towards around that 320 sell target. 320 is the main sell target from 275 again, but as always, make sure you see $3 resistance is holding on up. Now, if $3 resistance holds on up, we are going to be taking off the 320, and we are going to be locking everything in here. But right now, we are still moving on up, guys, and we are going to hit 320 now. We are going to be hitting this 320 mark in probably about 2 seconds. Here it is up towards a high of the day of 317, 318, 319, and let's do it, baby. We have the high of the day, 319 so far. 319 is the high of the day so far. Again, we are right next to that area. Make sure you guys are a smart trader, because right here at 320, that is going to be a very tough area. So if you are in at that 320 mark, or if you are in searching for 320, 319 is, very, very close to that 320 mark. We're right at 319 again, or 318 again. Lock it up. Lock it up right here at 318, 319, guys. Lock it up at 318, 319. I do want to hit that 320 mark. I'm not going to lose money over a penny, though. I'm not going to lose money over a penny. There it is, 320. Beautiful. Hit the high of the day right there, 320. That's what I wanted to see. Calling out plays like a sniper right here, and that is exactly what we wanted, guys. That 320 mark to get this nice big rip, this nice big. So, guys, right now, let's get into our lesson today. Again, it'll probably take about 20 to 25 minutes, and we're just going to be talking about APRI, and we're going to talk about why the stock ripped the way it did. So a lot of traders come to me and they say, how did you know the stock was going to rip? Why did we have a buy alert at 201, which was way at the start right here? Why did we have the buy alerts at 225, or it's, all the different areas? So I want to go into all this, guys. I want to tell you guys exactly what I saw, and I want to break this down piece by piece by piece for you guys, so you guys completely understand, what was going on. And APRI today, we have gone 1, 2, 3, 4 for 4 on all alerts on APRI. Again, I profited just above $1,000 today, broke that mark, and I'm very happy. Whenever I have a $1,000 day, there's no complaints whatsoever at all. So APRI, let's kind of break this down. Right now, there's not too much going into it. We can always come back to it if if it does start ripping a little bit more. So let's go back all the way to APRI right here, and let's start talking about this play from start to finish. So APRI came up on the news scanner this morning. So we have the news streamer right here, and you guys could see the news that comes up on it. We just kind of skip that and go to APRI. We could see APRI came out with a very nice press release January 18th, 7 a.m. And we could check it out right here. Basically says it has the approval for treatment of erectile dysfunction in Mexico. Again, as I said, I was kind of kidding around before. That's a great press release for, a lot of people, especially men, I guess, and a lot of people are happy about it, as you want to say, for the approval of erectile dysfunction in Mexico. So there is a credible press release behind it. So APRI had a nice little gap up today. It wasn't a huge gap up, and again, stocks that don't have huge gap ups are usually the biggest breakouts. We don't want to find stocks, such as this morning, NXTD, I believe it was, that had such a big gap up that went from 250 all the way up towards 360. It was in pre-market, it was all the way up near $4, because those are the ones that are just going to come right back on down. APRI, it only had about a 35 to 40 cent gap up. It wasn't anything too crazy. So APRI had a great press release behind it. It definitely had a nice big volume punch that was definitely going to come into it because of that press release. So obviously, number one, we have a very credible press release behind it, and the press release is going to mean that if this stock spikes, we are going to have a reason to buy it. A lot of the penny stocks we see, guys, a lot of them rip for no reason at all. A lot of them may just spike. A lot of them may rip from pump and dumps, email blasts, anything along those lines. So we have to always find a credible play. Now, what else did I like about APRI? Well, I saw the 6 million in float. Again, guys, the float is the shares offered to the public. Lower the float, the higher the demand, the bigger the rip. So when we have 6 million in float right here, this is when stocks can really take on off. You could see GLBS, which is the number 2 stock right now, has gone from around $4 all the way up to $9 because it has a little bit of a lower float. So this stock, has gone on a nice big rip because it has a nice low float, just like APRI. And that's why we always look at stocks with nice low floats, because those are the easiest ones to, go on some nice big rips. What else did I like about APRI? All in pre-market. So far, we have a low float and we have a good press release. Okay, there's a lot of stocks that come out with low floats and good press releases. So what really made you like this, stock? What I really liked about this stock, I can say, is looking at this chart. And if you guys look over here, bottom right-hand corner, looking at this chart, this is what really made me happy. Looking at APRI, I can see that APRI was bouncing this morning. You could see the previous day came down to the 13 EMA. It closed right at the 50-day moving average, right at this blue line. It hit the 13 EMA, bounced on up. So we were already starting on a nice bounce play. Now, on top of the press release coming in, we are extremely bullish. We have a lot of room to run because we are above the 13 EMA. We are above the 50-day moving average, and we have a lot of room to run on this stock. And really, as I said, there was not too much chart resistance on this play whatsoever. So APRI right here, we are above the 13 EMA. We are above the 50-day moving average, and it just has a lot of room to run. A lot of the other plays that we looked at, I always look for stocks that have a moving average, above these areas, above the area. So let's say, if a stock, let me just type in some random stock right here, EBIO, let's say. EBIO, we could see we have the 50-day moving average above the current price. The current price on EBIO right now, if we just type over here so we can, see this a little better, is 212. So we could see, we have the 13 EMA above it, we have the 50-day above it, and we also have the 200-day above it. So we could see, we're going to be hitting some very strong areas right there. Another example, let's see. Looking for GBR, that's not right there. Let's just, looking at a couple different examples. HMNY. HMNY right here, we are below the 13 EMA. The 50-day moving average is around that 450 mark. The 200-day moving average is around that 615 mark. So HMNY, that has a lot of areas that it has to, run up. It's going to hit chart resistance at 411. It's going to run up towards around that 450 mark. 50-day moving average is going to get caught. It's going to run up towards around the 200-day moving average, going to get caught. If it breaks that, it's going to have chart resistance right around that 650 mark. What I really enjoyed about APRI today was the pure fact that APRI didn't really have anything above it. The 13 EMA below, the 50-day below. This stock could really rip. This stock can really move on up. This stock could become a big-time play. So that is the main, thing that kind of separated a lot of the other stocks from me going into them. So I loved APRI because I not only had a good press release, not only because it had a nice low float, not only because it had a nice past chart history pattern of spiking, $3 or $4 up to $5, nice $1 rip. Here's $4 up towards $6, nice $2 rip. Is there anything else? We have a $10 up towards $15, nice $5 rip right there. APRI, nice low float. Great past chart history pattern of ripping. It's bullish on the 13 EMA, bullish on the 50-day moving average. It also has the good press release towards it, nice little float. It had a lot towards it, and look at this right now, still making some new highs of the day on APRI, still holding the stock, still moving on up. The stock is still being a monster play. So you guys, still going into a lesson on this play, you guys could see this. So now let's kind of break it down a little bit more into our alerts. Let's break it down into a little bit more into our alerts, as now you guys know why we bought this stock, in general. Because it had the press release. It was bullish on the indicators. It was low on the RSI as well. RSI, relative strength index. If we look right here, we can also see we have very nice support, very nice support area, back down towards around this 185 mark from past chart history pattern, nice support, low on the RSI. It just had a lot of potential to go on up today, guys. And that's why, we kind of filtered out APRI from all the other press releases. So let's kind of go back, right here. Let's kind of go back right here. all the way back down to the start of the day on APRI. We opened up at 190, so boom, 190 we opened on up. This stock came back down to a low around 181. Then it started moving on up. Why did we have our first alert at 201? Why was our first alert at 201? Well, our first alert at 201 was for the plain fact that that is the natural resistance break, the break of $2. So this is when the stock breaks $2, we can immediately get a very nice run. And that is when we can see this very nice pop, and that's when the stock can really take on off. The break of $2, we get the very nice pop because we are breaking a whole number. We break the whole number, guys, we break resistance. When we break resistance, that is where buying volume comes in. Break of $2, we get a nice rip straight on up towards around that 240 mark. So that was a beautiful climb, all because of the $2 break. Now in our live commentary, we start talking about some upper shadows, which we definitely have to worry about a little bit, and we start coming back on down. We find our main area of support, which is now 210. Now we did do the 215. Next, a buy alert was 215. Now, why did we do 215, which a lot of traders asked me about? Why did we do 215 right here? And this was because of the pure fact nothing else was moving on a pretty solid green day with the futures. So nothing else was really moving, and traders get greedy, guys. And when traders get greedy, they kind of work together to push these stocks up. Again, stocks don't move for no reason. Stocks move because people buy them or people sell them. So when traders, are saying, hey, what, nothing's moving, APRI went on a nice rip already, let's see if we can get that moving again. That's why we put on the 215 buy alert, and right when we did put on that 215 buy alert, that's when we had our nice rip, 215 all the way on the break of the high of the day to get this stock moving and get this stock ripping. We went up towards a high of around 260. Then our next buy alert, guys, our next buy alert was at 275, and that was 275 all the way up to 320. Now, why did we have 275 up towards 320? And that was the pure fact that 320 was the top of this candle, October 21st, top of this candle on chart resistance. So you could kind of imagine it, as like a one big U shape. So 275, break of natural resistance, kind of the same effect that would happen at the break of $2. We get buying volume. We broke $2, ran up to $3, came back down a little bit, then we ran right up towards around 320, exactly where I said, because that is the past chart history pattern right here on October 21st. Then the stock starts coming back on down, which, again, very predictable because of the plain fact that October 21st resistance most likely was going to hold on up. But what happened is that this stock started moving on this trend line. It did crack below the trend line, which which was our plan. We said, hey, stock is on this trend line right here. If the stock cracks below this trend line, it's not worth getting back into until, it gets back above this trend line and starts moving on up. So what we have here, APRI, let's just check this out. APRI below this, anything above this side is bearish. Anything below this side, or anything above this, scratch that, is bullish. Anything below this is bearish. So bullish, bearish. We start going underneath, we start seeing some selling. Stock comes up to the trend line. That's going to hold up as resistance, comes back on down. Breaks back above $3. Back above 320. 320 is the chart resistance, and that's when we start moving back on up. That's when we start moving back on up on this play. So again, back above 320, break of 320, that's where you could see some nice buying volume down here starts moving on in. So you can see the buying volume start moving on in right here, and that is because we're breaking a strong resistance line. So once we break 320, we have a nice run up all the way up towards around 366 for a nice, 44-cent run, or 46-cent run, because on the pure fact that we broke that previous resistance, that not only high of the day, but a very strong chart resistance line, which kind of forms this U shape. So we broke that finally 320 mark and a nice run up towards up towards around the 366. Another U shape forms. We get a high of the day, and now we are currently behind 375, which is of course a natural resistance line. So 375 is our natural resistance line. So I definitely want you guys to understand exactly why we bought the stock. I want you guys to understand exactly why we sold the stock. And we want you guys to understand about why the stock broke out in general. So definitely take that all in consideration, guys. Soak it in.